All right, so the third component of this protocol is your postures and day-to-day habits. Now, this obviously isn't something that you're going to work a ton on immediately. It's more of a over time thing. And so with postures and daily habits, we're basically looking at what are you telling your muscles to do? What are you telling the different systems in your body to do? So when we talk about those day-to-day postures and habits, we're looking at shoulder posture, low back core posture, and everything else through our day-to-day posture in standing, sitting, and sleeping position. For the majority of us, those three positions are where we spend most of our day. So if you've got those three going on and you've got them correct, then it's going to really help enhance all of the muscle work we're doing. So if we go do a bunch of release, we spend 10 minutes on it, even go crazy, getting a massage, spend half an hour on it, and then go spend 23 and a half hours on sitting like this, standing like this, or shifted to one side or whatever, that's going to create a big impact. Again, I think I mentioned this in one of the previous videos. It doesn't have to be perfect. It shouldn't be perfect. If it's perfect, you're getting overly neurotic about it, but it should be something that you're working on consistently to prevent those tight muscles. Cell phone posture is a big one that we're going to look at as well. So first things first with standing posture, the big thing we want to look at is when we're standing, that we get up into a tall posture through the chest, but then pull the ribs down. So from the side, it looks like this. Most of us think stand up tall and we end up overextending through the back like this, and then we compensate through the hips. Instead, I want you to pull those ribs down, pull forward, and nice and tall like that. You may feel some tension, like I can feel some tension in the front of my neck muscles, so I could actually do some release on those neck muscles. Obviously being careful not to go too aggressive. You do have important arteries, important nerves in there, so don't screw around with those. But getting some massage into those muscles. You can turn to the side and see your big sternocleidomastoid muscle, which is that long one there. And it's a very common one that becomes an issue. So if we look at posture, most of us are used to that forward head or that head forward at the computer or driving. If you ever see somebody driving with road rage, they're forward like this. And that muscle there, it goes from the back of our skull up towards the front of the chest and into the collarbone. So when we've got that muscle there, that should be here for proper posture. When we put our head forward or we tilt our head down, it actually shortens, and it, just like the other muscles, gets used to being in that short position. And because it's used to that short position, for the sake of efficiency, it shortens up and creates this tension there, so that when we go to pull back into proper posture, so when I try to stand up tall, because I've been sitting here at my laptop and my phone all day, that muscle is tight and it gives me resistance when I'm trying to stand proper. So I would do some massage on that muscle. I find that squishing technique there, a little bonus release technique, works quite well, and we can get that muscle relaxed a little bit. Again, massage therapists can do great work with that, osteopath or whoever else. But the biggest thing is once you get it released, keep in good position. So I'll show you those cell phone postures later. So we've got that, so those ribs down, chest up tall. So we've almost got this, I create this tension across here. So it's like across this point, I'm pulling up from here, but down from here, and it puts you in proper position. You'll notice if I just stand up tall through my chest, it looks a little bit awkward. If I stand tall through my chest, but down through my ribs, it's much more solid. And you'll notice that as well, you feel solid. The lats, if you've got any activation through those muscles, they'll actually be turned on when you come down to that proper position. So oftentimes people notice that. And even as simple as stand up like this, get someone to try to push you over, stand up and lock down, get someone to try to push you over, and you should feel much more solid when you do that. So that's our standing posture through the upper body. For the lower body, all we need to worry about is softening the knees a little bit, and that will get your knees into better position, and also getting the pelvis into a good alignment. So that's covered in the video down below with Nicole, so I'm not going to go too in depth on that right now. You can't see it on this camera anyways, but that's our standing posture.